Hey everyone, I got a whole bunch of new bug fixes and features and all kinds of stuff set up for Arena CTF, and I'm going to quickly go over the changes and how things currently flow. You notice that a little number indicator shows up whenever you buy stuff or whenever you gain credits. Uh, Now, I did some playtesting and found that there are a bunch of changes that uh, I I need to make for the next version. I'll go over that in a little bit. But the match timer works. The doors now open and close when they're supposed to. Um, it's reliable. The credits are reliable now. Like it's not like a 1 in 4 chance that you won't get your credits. And the reason why that happened was because I was doing things wrong. And it took a really long time to really figure it out. But now I have a much better understanding of making sure that all of that stuff stays on the server. You have to be really extra careful because sometimes where things come from will determine whether or not it can or cannot be authority or remote. So like anything that comes from a HUD has to be set up with an RPC, otherwise it'll only be remote. So there's a lot of stuff you have to keep in mind, that there's two versions of every variable, and one on the server and one on the client, and you have to really be extra careful about that because those things can get out of sync and it's hard to track that stuff down. So you really want everything possible to just be on the server. I almost kind of wonder if in blueprints, like if the default should just be everything is on the server. I shouldn't even have to do switch has authority or anything like that. It should just be on the server no matter what. I guess you can't really do that because, for example, your HUD is local. So I don't know, but it's tricky. It's definitely tricky. Do not feel bad for being confused by replication because holy crap, it's confusing. But I managed to get through it. It was painful, but I managed to get through it. So, and now I know better. Now I know how to handle this. So, implementing anything in the future is gonna be way easier, way freaking easier. So, let me go and cap the flag.
Blue flag taken. Red team scores.
See the little 14 scrolling up. Everybody got their credits. I spent some of mine, so I didn't get all of it. Alright, so you're only supposed to get 800 if you get 800 credits if you're on the losing team, and you get 1400 if you're on the winning. And it looks a little weird to me right now that both players have 1800. I think the math actually worked out. I'm just going crazy. So with that said, I have a server up, and you can play the game mode right now. It's up. I have a dedicated server set up. Let me show you how to get to it. Alright, so I could probably have explained how to get a copy of the game, but it's really just downloading Epic's front end, and it'll install the game. It's extremely straightforward. I won't cover that in the video. So once you have a copy of the game, if you want to play the server that I have up, which is currently only located in New York City actually. Let's see, we're gonna capture the flag. So you can set this preference. There's a whole bunch of servers. This is actually surprisingly active. So alright, this is jumping in. And you notice that you have no credits until the game actually begins. It automatically will face you up against a bot. When you're alone in a server. So
5,
it'd be nice if there were
4,
more people
3,
playing.
2, 1.
But
You are on the red team.
boom, you get 1,000 credits to start. It's usually the combo that I go with, although the next patch, health is changing a lot. I'm going to be making it so that your health resets to 100 if it's less than 100 at the beginning of each round. And there's really a whole bunch of stuff. I'll go over that in a second. So basically, $200, $200. I really gotta get a full team to play this. Like, and you grab the flag. 1400. All right, so now you get 20 seconds to sit here and like. I should have like shopping music. Alright, I just blew all my cash. Now you wait. Go. And that's pretty much the extent of it right now, and it's actually fully functional. So the new version, I'll go over that in a second as soon as I capture the flag one more time. It's too easy when it's against the bot.
Blue flag taken. Red team increases their lead.
Alright, so with all that in mind, you pretty much get a general gist of exactly what this game mode is. I'm going to talk about what I'm doing next. Okay, so one of the first things that was found was that the buying system that I currently have in place, where you buy 50 health at a time, and that you're kind of forced to buy health, isn't fun, and it ended up just being more of a drag. So I'm changing the way the health system works, where if you have less than 100 health, every time you start a new round, you're bumped back up to 100 health automatically, and I'm going to make buying a mega health actually cost like 1,000 credits and be like a big thing. Like getting a mega health is a much bigger deal. So I think that actually makes more sense in balancing in general, rather than making health like some kind of a maintenance fee. Armor is already like that, and I guess there's no need to have even more maintenance fees. So there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline that's uh, a bit different. Offhand grenades, which may not even be offhand, it might just be like some kind of, I don't know. It'll be easier to make them offhand because it's just press of a key and then it just throws it. But basically, what these are ways to lock off certain areas, either through line of sight or by causing like an explosion. Or we're pretty familiar with grenades and how they work in CS:GO, and I feel like offhand grenades would actually be pretty interesting for strategy in this particular game mode, because being able to like lock off a path by throwing some like some kind of like bomb thing or goo on the floor or something like that, it'll make it a little bit more interesting that players are able to actually kind of counter each other. Because the goal of this game mode is that it's sort of like team deathmatch, but you have the flags there as sort of a something that kind of keeps people on their toes. So it's sort of like I want what I envision, what I want to actually see happening is both teams spawn in, they come up with a strategy, and then they run up and they kind of poke at each other for a little bit, kind of just a little bit of back and forth, kind of waiting to see what the other team does, and then one team makes a move and then the other team counters. If I can get that kind of flow, that's exactly what I want. Like, so anything that complements that design is exactly what I feel fits with this game mode. So like having kind of grenades for blocking an area off for a little bit, or things of that nature. Doesn't sound bad. Actually, I don't know. I'd like to get feedback on that. Like, do I need to add more elements like that, or is it already pretty much there? I mean, maybe the bio rifle already does this kind of stuff. Maybe the secondary for the flak cannon is fine for this. I don't know, but that's the flow, and that's the general idea of how all of this works. Now there's a lot of like blueprint limitations that I'm having to deal with right now. Uh, Proper ways to add items to the player's inventory, because right now the buy menu thing, you can actually steal somebody's items by walking up to him while he's buying, because it places the item physically on the ground at his feet, and it takes like a second to get the item. When I go over the blueprints, when I go over the blueprints, it's just gonna be, it's gonna look bad because there's so many hacks to get this to work. But a lot of these things will go away. I just need more support on the blueprint side. So I'm like placing items at people's feet. I'm I don't have a way to detect if somebody actually captures the flag, so I'm checking every zero point 0.5 seconds if the score changes. Like this is how the game mode is currently. It's Anyway, I've already gone over this before. Um, so currently the rotation of the player is not working correctly because it's not stored on the pawn, it's stored on the player controller. I I'm trying to figure out how to get around this problem, but I had it fixed for a little while, but it stopped working because it was also a hack. Um, Proper inventory hooks. I need blueprints. I need new blueprints for getting and for giving, getting, and uh, taking away inventory items. If I can have that, that would be really good. I think everybody who's working with that anyway. Um, and most of this is just stuff that needs to happen anyway. Like I need to unhook the on tick event. I need to make it so like when the flag is captured, then do this code. And that's not really once I get those hooks, it'll be really easy to set all that stuff up. Um, I'm gonna do a special spawn area. I want spectators to be floating over the level and looking down. So I'm going to have kind of like a box area and have a special spectator spawn point. That's the plan. And so like as soon as you become a spectator, it recognizes that, and then it's places you on that spot facing downward, and then all the spectators can kind of look down. This is the same idea I had for Project Stray. In fact, a lot of Project Stray's design ideas are going to come into this as well. So yeah, and there's just like other stuff that's just basically like maintenance, as far as like the HUD counter never goes away. I don't know how to fix it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's something that can be fixed very easily. I just haven't figured it out. And so that's pretty much it. So the final thing is, and I'm going to be putting a lot of focus on this, rebuilding the level. I'm going to rebuild the level with brushes and meshes. Uh, Try and follow the development pipeline as closely as possible that Epic has done, although I can't totally follow that because Outpost 23 has a lot of proprietary meshes that are just sort of uh, I don't know why they would do it that way, but they did. Uh, Not all, a lot of it is just like trims that are the entire that room and can never be used for any other room ever, stuff like that. So I'll see what I can work with. I'm pretty sure there's got to be enough there for me to be able to do what I need to do uh, to make a new level. But I want to make a good-looking new map that looks polished. Um, that's based on the layout that I have, and the layout needs to change in a few ways. The I want lanes So you have the 3 lanes, sort of the high lane, the low lane, and then center. And I want this to be a little bit more defined of which lane is what. And I want it also to be just a little larger and a little bit more open. So like I'm adding just a little bit more space to all of that, and I'll have recordings of me working on them, and uh, I'll go into all of that. So that's pretty much everything for Arena CTF at this point in time. Uh, Feel free to check it out. I also released the source and blueprints. You can grab and use the blueprints however you want. I don't care. What I would really like if you did do that though is to like maybe give me feedback on like, oh, you're doing it this way, but it could be done way better this way. Totally up for that. I'd like to be able to just master this system so that it's easier and easier to do, cooler and cooler stuff because it's really powerful. And once we get more of these hooks and stuff, it's just gonna blow shit away because uh, most of my time, like 90% of my time, has been dealing with hacking. If I was able to just work with actual hooks and not have to like figure out weird ways to do everything, this mod could have been done in a weekend, and it would be up to this point and maybe even further. Seriously, like this would be so easy to do if it wasn't so hacky. Anyway, okay, so with all that said, hope you enjoyed. I hope this was informative, and I hope to play against you in Arena Capture the Flag. Take care.